Hello, everybody, and welcome to the stream. So, yesterday on Twitter, Christophe uh, asked, "Hey, what are the things that you want to know about my life? I am going to do like a new update on my podcast." And yeah, I found that very interesting because I hadn't talked with Christophe for a while. So I immediately had like, yeah, tens of questions for him.
He
And then
did.
we decided upon, hey, let's do like maybe like a stream or a podcast together where we both answer these kind of questions because it's quite fun. To have this conversation, and some people might be interested in that too. So Christophe, he
Yeah.
just showed me right before we start streaming, like the format of this video and what we're going to do. So maybe you can explain that, Christoph?
Yeah, right. So I came a little bit prepared. Freak doesn't know too much about it, but I have here in front of me a bowl of questions. And there are some of them that Freak asked me, then some I came up with. And there are also some more general ones that my wife did. So I also don't know them. So yeah, let's keep it spontaneous, simple, and let's see how it goes. And I also want to mention, normally Freak and I, we meet like a few times every year in conferences. So for the last years, but yeah, of course, these times are a little bit different. So we haven't seen each other for quite some times, and this is why I also thought that this would be a cool idea. But I think if you're ready, we're going
I'm
to
ready.
start. Okay, I picked one of.
I'm very curious what questions we are going to get. I very much like the format.
So I picked the first one here. It's one my wife wrote down. So let's just see what it says. So, Frick, what's the best part of your job? I think that's a simple one to start.
Yeah, and I think I already know the answer to that. I think the best part of my job is like my team where I work in. I thought a little bit about these things when I was preparing for like James Brooks' podcast. When I came up there, I think a few months ago. He has a podcast on mental health, and so I thought about these things before going on the podcast. And yeah, one of the things I settled on was, I really like working with other people. So yeah, we have like a very nice team at Spasi, and yeah, with like the pandemic, I valued that even more because we were forced to work from home quite a bit. And at Spasi, we were already a little bit accustomed to working from home. Everybody already worked a couple of days from home, but now it was for a period like 100% from home. And I just, missed like the human interactions a little bit. And I'm glad that we have a little bit more of a mix now. We have a big office. Not everybody of our team comes at one time, so it's like a safe environment if not too many people are there. And I just really like being around like the people, and work along. Now,
I can relate to that because we're developers, but we're still social human beings. We need to interact with each other, and especially if you work together, it's important to see the other persons as well. And if you have a great teams, and it really seems that you do, that's really good.
I couldn't do this kind of work without like nice people besides me. And of course the job itself, or like the work I'm working on myself, is also very fun. I think this year I have worked so much on like our own products and less client work. And working on those technical problems and just working for yourself is it makes me very happy. I think the best example is Mail Coach, like that self-hosted MailChimp alternative that I worked on. That was really something that I built for myself, and that could be sold. So where like the company gets a big benefit out of that as well. And yeah, that makes me very happy that Mail Coach has succeeded technically, but also commercially. And yeah, those are things that drive me. And of course, yeah, working with new technologies is also fun. And yeah, also things like this streaming. This is just researching how you do it best and what platforms are good. We were forced a little bit into it, yeah, because of COVID. Because otherwise, I would have just gone
Yeah.
to in-person things. But doing stuff like this, like having a conversation with you, I also consider it, yeah, part of the job. It's not really part of the job, but yeah, it all flows into
Yeah,
each
it's all
other a little bit.
connected.
Yeah. And what do you like best about your job, Christoph?
So I'm self-employed. So this means actually I can do whatever I want. So this is one thing that I really value. So I have much freedom.
Yeah.
But of course, this comes with a price. So I have to, do everything myself. I'm the only employee in my company. I have to motivate myself. I have to discuss stuff myself. Of course,
Yeah.
I can talk to other people, but in the end, it's always me. I'm alone, and it's not a bad thing. I like it. I like working alone. I always like that. And yeah, it gives me a lot of freedom, and I can decide, of course, depending on my current client projects, but mostly I can decide every day what I want to work on, when I want to work, and how I want to work. And yeah, especially these times, nothing too much changed for me because I'm still working from home all alone like I did before.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect me that much. But on the other side, my wife is now more at home, which is good
Yeah.
for me too. So yeah, but if there's one thing that I like the most about my job or being self-employed is the freedom that I have to work on to decide myself how I do stuff and what I do. Yeah, and these days it's the same for the last 2 years. I try to make my own products, doing video courses, and do work for clients. And it's both a mix. I like both, and yeah, we have to see where it leads me. But yeah, it's the freedom that really points out for me what's the most thing that I like about my the way I work. Of course, when we talk about what's the best about my job, like being a programmer or something like this, then maybe I can answer differently, because what always fascinated me about programming is like the creative part of it. There are so many ways to do stuff, to implement things. There are many tools, there are many ways of programming how you can do these things, and yeah, it's very creative. I've been a creative guy almost my life. I do music. I've been into design a little bit. So yeah, creative work is very important to me. And yeah, it feels a little bit like an architect. You can build stuff from scratch. You just need your computer. I can work from anywhere, and I just type in some lines of code, and there is this application. And this is still very fascinating to me, and what's I think the best about being a programmer.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I can pick up on a few things about that. Um, yeah, just the ability that you have nowadays to just go on the internet and just find a couple of good components is really golden. I still remember
Yeah.
like maybe when I started out, it's many years ago. You didn't have too much polished things. The composer wasn't even there. But now we are both operating in like an ecosystem that values good documentation, that values like a visually designed documentation even. And yeah, it's like you said, it's so much fun to work with like high quality tools. It's amazing how fast you can build something now. And another thing that I want to pick upon is you've been like a creative all your life, and yeah, you say you play the guitar from time to time. I see a guitar hanging behind you. The other side, yeah, it's mirrored. Have you done anything lately musically?
Yeah, I think you might know, but maybe not the others. I've been playing in a band, a punk rock band, like 10 years. but it's all almost already 10 years ago, so it feels like a different life to me. And I haven't played too much the last years because I didn't want to start a band again. I just played a little bit at home. But a funny thing, there was a wedding of one of my best friends about a few weeks back, and we prepared something, a little band, my friends and I, and we played some songs together. So that was really cool, getting back into the band life and the rehearsals and figuring stuff out and see what I can still play. So that was really fun.
Fantastic. And are you planning on doing that some more now that you've got the feel of having a band?
Yeah, we have to see. I definitely like to play more. I did came into it a little bit, so I play more often, I would say, for myself. But we did this with the band. It was now the second time, but the first time was for my wedding, so I didn't join the band. So the others were playing for me. And now we did this again, but not for another friend. But now almost our friends are married, so there's only one left, and he's like one of the brain for the songs and what we play. And if he gets married, it would be a little bit difficult because he's doing so much of the work behind those songs that we play. So we have to see. But I definitely will play more now.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think it's good to have like such a hobby besides programming a little bit, that where like your creative mind is being used, but it's something else than programming. I could talk a lot about like the differences and the similarities between music and programming, but let's leave that to another stream.
Okay, so let's take another one. Now, one of the ones that I prepared, I just wrote them down. I don't know exactly what I wrote down, so that I don't come prepared with answers already. But let's see, what's this one? Oh, come on. Oh yeah, it's a little bit technical question now. So, Freek, what's your favorite feature of PHP 8?
Ooh, that's a little bit of a difficult one because I still have to toy a little bit around with all of the features. You know what? Let me just get on a blog where all the features are listed, so I can
have a better overview.
A little bit through it. Let's see here. There are union types. So those are that you can type in multiple types. So you can say, hey, this can be an array or a collection that you get in there. That's already a big win, I think, that you can type into those things. Named arguments. It's a little bit of a... how do you say that? There is a lot of discussions whether that's good or not good. But I kind of like it. I think there's like some concerns that now the naming of your variables is part of the public API. But I think that won't be a problem because personally, I don't rename the variables that much when I have a stable release. Let's see. How is that called here? I think it was called something with promotion, like constructor property promotion. That's a very nice one, I think. So if you don't know that already, for the viewers, that is, so you can already assign class variables in the signature of the constructor function. So you don't have to set properties manually yourself, or you don't have to assign them in the constructor itself. I think if you work with like DTO kind of objects, this will save you like a massive amount of code. Yeah, there's so much here, Christoph. It's difficult to choose for like the
if you don't have one specific in mind, then that's okay as well. So you don't have to pick one if you don't know it already. So
I think the match is also a very nice one. I don't like case statements very much because they're like so big. But the match is like a really elegant alternative to that. I like that too. So yeah, I can't really choose. I think it's a great release because of like all these things combined
Yeah.
um, with each other.
I think it also looks like another really good release for PHP, like they did in the last year. So I really see some great progress,
Yeah.
especially for how I like to code. And yeah, I also think for me the named arguments it's very interesting. I also followed a lot of the discussion about it. What I really like about it is like that your code gets cleaner when you're calling stuff, because you often, when you have to put in the parameters, you have like you need the first two, and then you don't need the second, the third and the fourth, and you put in null or something like this, but you need the last one, and then you need to put it in parameter there again. And this is some annoying, and it doesn't look that well. And with named arguments, you can just provide the parameters that you need. And I think this could be a really cool feature. So that's the one that I'm most interested in, but I haven't played with it yet.
Yeah, I think named arguments will be cool for sure for the things that you already mentioned. A side note for that is that if you have like a method signature that has a lot of optional things, it could be considered to break it out into like some kind of pending kind of object factory where like you have like every argument gets passed on via a method. That could be something as well. But name arguments is like a good alternative for a thing that's in between there. So I hope people will like that one too.
Yeah, it's a good point. You could say that it might be a kind of smell if you have to provide too many arguments and you don't need all of them. And then, there might be a better way to do this. So I also think that's interesting.
I think it's a good one though for like that example that is I think in the RFC, like that set cookie function, so the built-in PHP functions. Where you don't have like any power over like the order of the arguments, and those argument names, they don't change that much. So I think those will be situations where it will be very, very handy. I also think that like in general, what I also like about like this release and PHP in general, and it's nice to see that this stays, is that you can still choose, do I want to do things strictly? Can I do things a little bit more pragmatic? All of the features are just opt-in. If you don't like them, just don't use them. And I really like that spirit is being maintained also in PHP 8.
Yeah, I also think that's one of the superpowers of PHP, because there's so many different ways to program, and in PHP we don't force people too much to do this or that. And if you have both options, then you can, a lot of developers can work with it. And this is one of the things I think that PHP is really good about.
Yeah, totally agree with that. So only a few months that we have to wait, and then we can use all this awesomeness. I already installed like the binary on my computer. I did it together with Brent last week to just toy a little bit with it. Yeah, and it already works quite nicely, I would say.
Cool, that's good. Yeah, so one of the better testers.
Yeah. And PHP Storm also already has support for PHP 8, and you have like these nice things in there, like for named parameters. If you like rename one of the named parameters, it will also replace everywhere where you use the renamed thing.
The other occurrences. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you don't have to think about it in a project context. It will a refactor will just work. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
that's cool.
Okay, man. Let's go to the next one.
Next question.
I pick another one. Yeah, I think so too. Let's pick another one from my wife.
How do you know that it's from your wife? Does she
Oh,
wrangle it
yeah, I'm
differently,
not sure
or
if you can see it, but she folded them differently. So these are the ones my wife did, so very clean. And then
yeah?
the ones that I did are like this one.
Okay,
Okay.
that says something. Yeah, of your wife or of you or men or programmers or something. It's
Yeah, maybe it
funny.
does say something about us. I don't know.
Yeah, I would wrangle them too, Christoph. I'm on your side.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Freek. So, what has been your greatest success in the last 2 years? Okay.
Oh wow. That's like a difficult one to answer. But the last 2 years, you say, then I still have to remember what I did in the last 2 years.
You do so much. Yeah, it's difficult.
Um, Programming or otherwise.
Or otherwise.
Hmm. I, yeah, great. And greatest is already also like a loaded term. What is like
Yeah, it is.
greatest thing? I'm also stalling for time a little bit while I think. I think I think one of the things that I enjoyed very much. So you said like outside of programming.
Yeah.
I think one of the sites one of the things I really enjoyed very much is getting a little bit more again into music, into creating music on my
Mhm.
own. I started doing that like half a year ago or something like that, and I did it mostly because yeah, I wanted to feed that hobby a little bit. I was listening to some old recordings, and I thought, hey man, that was really fun. You know, I think that in my life I've been focused on when I do things for myself on two things I really have focused. I think in my 20s I really was focused on creating music, and I create a lot of things. And in my 30s I focused a lot on programming, so I did a lot of packages
Mhm.
and learned a lot of programming. And yeah, I was thinking like a couple of months ago, hey, that in my 20s that was fun just messing around with music. So I think a couple of months ago I purchased a program called Ableton. It's one, yeah, like
Mhm.
one of the big um yeah, the DIYs, digital audio workbenches of workstations or something like that. And I just messed around with it. A guy w- with whom I play in a band, he taught me the basics, and then I start figuring out stuff on my own. And man, that was so much fun. I lost so much sleep. It was really like I'm looking at the clock. I start at like 8 p.m. and then I toy around a little bit and I take a look at the clock and it's 4 a.m. and it's like
Oh,
okay,
really?
I
Wow.
should really get to sleep now. Just playing with like these synthesizers and drum things, and it's quite amazing how everything has so progressed in 10 years, how easy it is to get started with this. I still remember when I was in my early 20s when I started recording stuff, that you had like a really beefy computer was necessary with like a dedicated audio card. You should do all these things to optimize it to so you have like the smallest latency. Don't set like a desktop background because that eats RAM, and that RAM should be available for the
Mhm.
thing. And now it's just on my MacBook. Yeah, certainly it's a good MacBook, but it just run it just open it up and it all works like perfectly, no tinkering necessary. You can go immediately into recording stuff. So I bought myself also, I got it here, like a little
Mm.
keyboard here that interfaces with it very well. And yeah, it's so much fun to do. And the nice thing is that there are really no expectations of this, and that gives like a lot of freedom because there isn't like a pressure, like nobody's waiting for a result. I just do it for myself. As where with like programming, I feel that I've lost a little bit of that freedom because people expect certain things, and I like working on on programming problems as well. But music gave me even more of a feeling of freedom than programming, and I think that's what I needed like a couple of months ago, and I still enjoy doing it. I do it like 1 day or 2 days a week. I'm just tinkering around with that instead of programming, and it gives like a nice balance. Okay, man, I've already babbled. Same question for you, Christoph. What is like the greatest thing that you've done in the
Yeah,
past few
just
years?
before that, I just wanted to say, yeah, balance is really important, especially if you work a lot. And I also
Mhm.
wanted to ask, you also did a kind of, I think it was an album that people can
Yeah,
buy or listen to or something like that.
yeah, they
So
can stream it freely on all the platforms. I'll just put a link to it below this video. I'll send the link
yeah,
to you so
just
you
add it
can
to
put
the
it
notes.
in
Okay, cool. So people
your
can
show
hear
notes
what
as
you've
well.
done at
Yeah,
night.
yeah, that was also very much fun because those recordings that I did there, some of them are new, but some of them are also like old songs that I had laying around
Mm.
that I
Hmm.
just loaded up in like the new audio thing, and I tinkered with it there, and I improved it there. I added some new lines and tried to make the audio better. And it was really like jamming with my 20-year old self, which was quite nice to do. Okay,
That
that's the
sounds
last
cool.
thing
Yeah.
that I want to say about it. Was cool. So
Okay, so
now
what
for you,
was,
Christoph.
yeah, so what has been, whoop, I'm sorry, I still have problems with my AirPods falling out.
Wait.
So let me read again. So what has been your greatest success in the last 2 years? So for me, I'd say it's quite easy. So personally, it's definitely I got married last year.
Yeah,
So
that's a huge
yeah, that's
achievement.
a big personal event for me, and it was really awesome. And especially now, we also thought about getting married this year and not last year. So I think this year would have been much more complicated and
Yeah,
difficult and a lot of stress. So I mean, it was also stress last year because we didn't have too much time to prepare it, but still we had the freedom of being relaxed, inviting everybody we want to, and this is not the case today. So
no,
I'm really thankful for that. And yeah, I'd say this is my personal success. And business or programming, like, I think it's just that I was able to have my own business, because you don't know if it works out. So I also came from companies that I worked for full time, and in the last company I was like 5 years. So I didn't know everything there. It was really comfortable. I got my money every month. I got additional money for Christmas and for holidays and stuff like that. It was easy when I get sick or things like that. So it was really a comfortable position, and it's always difficult to leave such a place. And yeah, but on the other side, it's those decisions that bring you forward. And I think that I made it somehow to keep this business now for, I think it's almost 2 years now. It is already a big success. Of course, I'm not there where I want to be, and there's still a lot I want to improve and that I want to see change in the future. But still, I'm still here. I'm still figuring stuff out, and somehow it works. And for me, that's already a big success. Yeah.
yeah, that's a big achievement as well. I think on Twitter we're like in this echo chamber with like successful people, and it seemingly sometimes like it's a given if you go on your own that that's a success, but I don't think so. I think you hear the stories of people who aren't successful in that. You just don't hear those. But I'm happy for you that for you it works it works out. And I think it's a huge achievement that you can stand on your own feet.
Yeah. And the most important thing in this case that I learned or that I try to teach myself every day is, yeah, try to always compare myself to only myself. And
Yeah.
that's the only person that I should be compared with. Because, yeah, like you said, we're in a community where there are a bunch of really successful people, and reaching those kind of success is super, super difficult, and only a few people will ever do this. And yeah, that's okay, but you have to, yeah, you have to relate to your situation on how you are doing. And there's also success in little things,
Mhm.
and you have to yeah, you have to think about them and validate them as well. So it's still hard sometimes, because yeah, I also want to be like an Adam Wetton sometimes, Taylor Otwell, Jeffrey, you name it. Or
Yeah.
maybe also like you with all the success that you already had with a company and packages. But yeah, they all have the different stories. They all have their negative things, their failures as well. So it's always a different story, and you have to more think about your story, your situation. And that's what I try to, yeah, teach myself every day. And yeah, it gets difficult, but that's, I think, the only way and healthiest way to go, of course.
Yeah, I think that is a very good way to think about that, because even, yeah, I'll speak for myself. You say like, yeah, you have the company and the packages and stuff like that, but even, yeah, I also have like my own worries and anxieties and things that yeah, that I want to do better, and it's for everybody a little bit of a different struggle, I guess. um I think it's very healthy to just, yeah, compare against yourself, because um, yeah, that's like the only objective thing that you can do. Um, I also think that's a little bit related, that work wise, um, I think you should always not try to mix like your personality with the job too much. I think if you want to value yourself as a person, um, don't take job too much into account, I'd say, because in the end that is not that important. I think if for me, for instance, if the company goes away, if all the packages go away and all the story goes away, I still want to be me. I don't want to be like that mixed into my personality. Um, yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's like,
totally get that. So there are many parts that make you you, and
yeah,
there shouldn't be one that makes up for everything. And if this goes away, there's nothing left. So I think that's always dangerous if it's like that. But I think especially in programming and how we do stuff, being in a community, being active when we work, but also after work, yeah, it's difficult, yeah, because yeah, we of course identify with what we do,
mhm,
and yeah, we have to be careful, like you said. And I I just remembered when I was a kid, I was skateboarding, and of course I had some friends that were better than me, and
mhm,
I looked up to them. And there was also one or two guys in like the next town that I knew who were really good at skateboarding. It was like, oh my god, I wish I would be as good as them. But yet today it's totally different, because you don't have these people that you see around. You have always everyone around because of the internet. If you go to YouTube and today you see a skateboarder doing a, I don't know, double backflip, triple backflip, whatever, you see
yeah,
things like one person in the world can do. And if you try to compare yourself to, yeah, like the best of the best, yeah, you always feel super small, and it's very unhealthy. And
yeah,
this is a
indeed.
thing that I think was especially easier back without the internet, and
Mhm.
also which is more difficult in our community where we are so much online. And yeah, but of course, like everything, there are pros and cons, and you just have to deal with them. But I think it's always interesting to compare this stuff to what it was like before, and
Yeah,
um, and to reflect. Yeah.
yeah. I already also touched a little bit about like the pressure that sometimes like I feel when programming. Like there's like an expectation. Um, And yeah, I think that pressure comes a little bit when you you should surround yourself with like the smartest people you know, because they will make you even smarter.
Yeah.
But they also make you feel dumb.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
It's
not
tough. Yeah.
it's not their fault. I don't want to blame fingers, but um, I think that I didn't feel like the pressure that I'm sometimes feeling now. Before I created packages, there was like none of that. I was just operating at like a small scale, no community at all, and you just did your stuff. Now I think all things given, it's better to have a community and to surround yourself with better people. But yeah, one of the pitfalls is that it it can really be like a growing ground for your imposter syndrome that
Yeah.
everybody has. And what you said, like you should only measure you against yourself. That's like a very good way to combat the imposter syndrome a bit. So
Yeah. I think it also helps to just talk about it. And I think, yeah, we should also talk about the things that don't go too well or that are just normal, because, yeah, normal is good too. Yeah.
yeah,
Not
indeed.
everybody has to be special. Yeah. Everybody is themselves and use you, and it's good
Yeah.
like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes think like I haven't done anything amazing in programming this week, but I just worked, you know, and
Yeah.
that's already
It's not good enough. Yeah.
that's not like a good thing to have, you know. If you just worked and you just did your job, that's already good enough, you know.
Yeah.
I
Because you provide for your family, you provide your life. That's
yeah,
also a lot already. So.
yeah, indeed.
Okay, maybe
Let's
let's
do one
just
of
sum this up. Let's talk about the stuff, bring it out. Let's be honest to yourself and not try to relate too self with each other because you don't know their story. So
yeah,
this is a
indeed.
little bit my takeaway from this.
Okay, let's do another question, Christoph.
Okay, this is another one
Think
that I
we did like 2 or 3 questions, and we're already
yeah
quite some time here. So I
I
think
thought it
to
would
do
be
the
much faster, but I also like that we're discussing them in more detail. So I think it's fine how it is.
yeah, indeed.
So let me try to recognize my handwriting. What was the last movie that you watched?
Ooh, the last one I saw in the theaters was, I think, Tenet. I think that
Oh, okay.
that is true for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And let me check if there's. I have like this program where I note all the movies
Oh, nice.
that I saw. It's called Letterboxd. It's really nice. I'll send you a link to it
Yeah, please.
afterwards. So let's see. Yeah, of course. How could I forget? But I don't know if we want to talk about that. The last one that I saw with with my sons was this weekend, Yakari, but it was a children's movie. I don't know if we want to talk about a children's movie. Oh, and then I saw one a couple of weeks ago. I'm thinking of ending things by Charlie Kaufman. If you
No?
know him. That's the guy that also wrote the manuscript for how is it called again? That beautiful sort of very sad romantic film with let me see if I can pull it up. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't know if you ever saw it. It's a
No,
bit.
I don't think
It's a
so.
it's a bittersweet movie, but
Okay.
Charlie Kaufman, who also made I'm thinking of ending things, he always makes like this kind of weird movies about life and about people thinking and people happening in life. Another one that he did was Being John Malkovich. I don't know if you
Oh,
saw
yeah, of
that
course. Yeah,
one.
know that.
Yeah, that's like
Okay, okay.
sort of existential thing. Yeah, and I'm thinking of ending things. Yeah, it's a strange movie. I don't want to say too much about it because then I'm going to spoil it a little bit. But it's on the surface, it's about like a woman and a man driving to the parents of, I think, the boyfriend to meet for like the very first time,
Hmm.
and they have like a conversation in their car about life. And meanwhile, you hear the girlfriend thinking, yeah, I'm thinking about ending this, and you don't know if it's about your about a boyfriend or about something else.
Hmm.
And when they get at like the parents' house, a lot of strange things happen. But I don't want to spoil it too much. There's a lot of talking going on. It isn't a movie for everyone, I think,
Hmm.
because there are like basically three big scenes with like a lot of talking. It's also a long movie, 2.5 hours. But I very much enjoyed it and the idea behind it, which I'm not going to spoil uh, right now. But I think if you like Charlie Kaufman, if you saw movies of him, you like this one too because it's really something, yeah, that
Unique.
screams like yeah, this is him. This is made by him. And for you,
Okay.
Christoph?
Um, I watched. We didn't watch it in the theater, but we watched it at home. And the last movie was, I think it was something called Limit or Limitless. It's an
Yeah,
older movie. It's with Bradley Cooper.
yeah.
You know
Was
this one?
I know of it. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I know it.
Yeah,
I know
and
it exists.
it's about this writer, and he gets in contact with a drug that makes your brain use like all of its power that it has. So normally we're using like 20%, and then it uses like 100%. And depending on the person who's taking this drug, you can do a lot with your brain, and you're kind of super smart. And there are some people in this world who have this drug, and you don't know who are those people, and they also have some downsides, these drugs, like always. And I thought it was a really good movie, so I really liked it. So it
Nice.
also wasn't too complicated or too unique, so I think it would be a movie for everyone, I'd say. So I really
It
enjoyed that.
it makes me a little bit think of that movie with Scarlett Johansson, I think, Lucy, and it's like
Yeah.
the same premise. She can use all of her brain power. Uh,
Yeah, I think from the idea, it's a little bit similar, but totally different in how they made the movie. And I didn't like Lucy that much. It was a little
no,
bit,
no,
yeah.
I thought it was horrible. Really,
Yeah, okay. Since we're honest here, yeah, it was horrible.
yeah,
Okay,
that was an
let's move
easy one.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an easy one. So let's take another one my wife wrote down. So, I think my wife knows you better than I thought. What's your favorite beer and why?
Oh wow. Um, that's a difficult one because yeah, in Belgium we have a lot, right?
You have, yeah. I've
Hmm.
been there too, and it's also limitless, yeah.
Yeah, it's limitless. Let me think a bit. I think if I had to choose one, but I ask me tomorrow and I'll probably give a different response. I think, and some Belgians will hate me now. I think my favorite beer is a Dutch one. It's
Mhm.
called
Oh,
La Trappe. It's called. It's
mhm.
it's one of the Trappist beers. So you have I don't know how many. I think 8 or 9 Trappist beers that are brewed by monks. And this one is like the Holland one, and I especially like the double one. It's like a brown dark one. It comes like in a very fancy glass with like a very it's a very large diameter. It's like a cup really, and that cup is like a golden kind of edge. So it's really
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, we're having this feast, you know.
Okay, we need to put this one in the notes as well. so I can
And
check it out.
yeah, I'll send you a link. And yeah, I really like really like the taste as well. So if I have to pick one now, that would probably like be the one.
Be
A
the
Dutch
one.
beer. Sorry, not a Belgian one. And for
Okay,
you,
for me,
are there Austrian beers that are good?
yes, of course.
Yeah. And as I sorry, that sounded a little bit too condescending coming from a
It did, but no
Belgian there.
worries. Yeah, I think we don't have beers like there that are famous in whole Europe or something like that. Like I think there are several in Belgium that are very famous. So I wouldn't say we have one that is too famous like that, but we still have good beers, and of course it always is different depending on your taste. So I like to drink beer, and I like to drink different kind of beers. So if it's a craft beer, it's the dark or a light one, I like to mix and try new stuff out. But
Mhm.
when I think about the question, what's my favorite beer? I'd say there are two that I have in mind, and one is more about how the beer is connected to a place. So I've
Mm.
been several times to Portugal
Mhm.
for surfing, and there's a beer called Super Bock,
Mhm.
and it's a very simple beer. It's very light and fresh, and you can drink it really good in the sun. And I have so many memories of me and my friends, and also my wife has been there once, where we sit at the pool with this beer after surfing in the sand, and we brought some of the Super Box with us. So
Cool.
um, but because of how it's connected, I would say this is one of my favorite beers. And then the last week, let's begin there. My wife is from a different town, which is a little bit away from here, and her neighbor has started to brew beer in the last 2 years.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the first time he had his new beers, we tasted it and it was like, okay, but not too good. But now, I think 2 weeks ago, we got like 6 different bottles of beer from him with different tastes. So there was a Radler, a mixed one. There was a craft beer. There was one with kind of orange taste. And yes, so 6 different ones. And they were all really good. So I really
Nice.
enjoyed them. I also brought them where we had a meeting with my friends and they all loved it. So I'd say we definitely need to get some more of his beers. And it's really cool because it just does it in his cellar. I think at his parents or somewhere as a pretty small brewery, you could say. And I would say these are currently my favorite ones, just because I like them too much. And maybe a third one that I just want to bring up because you told me about it. It's from, what is it called? The Brew Punk.
Is that the one that we drank in Amsterdam?
I think we drank it first in London, where I was with my wife at this Indian place, I think.
Yeah,
Do you
Brewpunk.
remember?
I remember being us in the Indian
Oh,
place.
Brewdog.
Brewdog. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Brewdog, and then something with punk.
Yeah, I think BrewDog. I don't know if I recommended it to you, but I drank it first. I think in Amsterdam at the Laracon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think there in the bar, I asked like, "What is like the best thing you have here?" And they say, "Yeah, BrewDog," and they got me that. And maybe I recommended it to you in the Indian place.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
maybe was like that. And
yeah,
we also have this one from time to time at home because we both enjoy it. And
cool.
yeah, cool.
Related, I actually have, yeah, now I'm going to sound very Belgian. I actually have like a subscription on beers. There's
Oh,
like
really?
a company called the Brussels Beer Project, and they really make like these fancy beers. They're stationed in Brussels. They're already becoming quite big, and they have like their signature beers, but they also experiment a lot, and you can have like a
Mm.
subscription on those experiments. So they send me a box of 12 of their experiments every 2 months. And yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
it's really a joy. I heard it first from my colleague Sebastian. he got it first, and it sounded like such a good idea that I subscribed myself to, and I enjoy it now for I think a year or something. And it's always a nice surprise when, like, hey, the 12 or the 10, I don't know, the little box of beers arrived, and we can do some more tasting. That's cool.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah. I'll also give you a link to that for the show notes,
Yeah.
because I think you can subscribe in the whole of Europe to
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Good
Okay.
question. Good question.
Yeah. I will thank my wife for that. Should we do one or two more?
Yeah. I don't know how long are we already in, 50
think
minutes or something. Yeah, we can go for like an hour is like a nice
Yeah, I
period of
think an
time,
hour is a
right?
good amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one one of those that I wrote down.
Okay.
Okay. Not sure if you can see it. It's one. Oh, my handwriting is also really bad,
How
but it's
is the job search? No,
Yeah.
John search. The job search going.
Yeah.
You know, for like the new colleague,
No,
or
it's
or
actually
the
one of those that you wrote down and sent me over
that
Twitter.
I for you. Yeah,
So
indeed.
it was about.
Okay,
So
I'll ask
yeah,
you. How is
yeah.
your job search going, man?
So let's just clear this up for everybody. So I was looking for new work, I think the last month, and I tweeted about it, and so that's why Freek asked me how this was going. So actually, I'd say pretty good. I got 2 new projects that I'm currently working on, and they need most of my time for at least the next weeks, maybe more. So that's pretty good, and I also like both of them. Challenging, but also good and fun work. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I found those projects and I'm now saved again for the
I
rest
have
of the year, maybe.
I got 2 questions about that.
Yeah.
The first one, which we'll go into after the next, is what kind of problems are you working on? But the most important question that I have is, what do you value most in the jobs you're applying to? What do you find important? What makes you say, yes, I want to do this? What are the things you find important there?
Okay, good one. So I'll start with the second one. So I have to say I'm super picky about projects that I work on. Maybe too picky because I decline a lot of offers just because it doesn't feel right to me. And what this means is very difficult to explain and verize. I just want to spend the time that I'm here, that I work with people, to be fun and joyful. I want to feel a connection between me and the other person. So I want to be the right man, right person to help them. So I don't want to that I just take them their money, and I just do stuff that they maybe could do themselves, or maybe where a different person could help as well. So I really want to make it a win-win for everybody, so that I can help them and I also learn something new, and that is a challenge for me or interesting to me. And yeah, I'm very happy about if I find clients that really fit well and where we both have a good time together, but also of course accomplish things together. And so that's very important to me, and that's why I often decline an offer, because it just maybe doesn't feel right to me, or maybe doesn't sound that good to me. And so that was the last weeks where I had a little bit of troubles finding the right project for me, but now I found 2 and I'm pretty happy about them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it sounds like it's very subjective and like very personal thing. But I think that it's good to value these things, that it's not just about earning money. I got a friend who does that, just like this pays well. I'm going to do that, but you see, like, you're not really happy doing this. I'm happy for you because you got a job and you earn all this money, but you won't last for a couple of months there. I won't mention
The
the
name.
name, but it's a different approach. But
And then
but
sorry?
I would also be the same as you. I can't work for
Yeah.
a thing that I don't believe in, or with people that
And this
don't
was also one of the
connect.
reasons why I founded my company, because when you work in an agency, of course, you have to work with all the clients. And let's be honest, every company has, or every agency at least, has a lot of clients that maybe are not that fun to work with. And if I don't feel like I can provide value to them, and if it's just like I have to do what they want me to do it, and if I don't see the value that I bring with my work, then it doesn't work for me. So that's one of the reasons also why I founded my company, that I can decide who I want to work with.
Yeah, that's a very big advantage when you have
Yeah,
your own
of course.
company, indeed. So, work wise, what kind of problems are you working on? Can you tell a little bit about that?
So one of the new clients is an individual person who has different side or startup projects, you can say, so different ideas of some projects that he already works on and wants to work on. And we are currently taking a look at the new idea, and he already has a lot of ideas how it should work, and we tried to get a figure out how we could start the thing, the onboarding process, and he had some sketches about that. And yeah, we discussed a lot about how this could or should be done, and then I tried it my way, and then we looked at it, looked at the code, and we were looking if he would do it the same. And I also tried to consult a little bit. And sometimes for people, it's just nice to have another person to talk about the code that they write in the project. So it's not like that I'm the one who knows everything and that I can teach everyone about everything. So that's definitely not the case, but often just discussing your project or your challenges with another person, another developer, is already super helpful. And I think that's one of the reasons why I fit well with this project, so I can be like a sparring partner, and I also help to implement stuff.
That's cool, man.
And the second one is a little bit different. I can't go too much into detail, but let's say the guy who approached me has a little bit of a different background, and he's a programmer and he does program, but let's say in a different style or way than I did the last years. And there comes some challenges with that for me and for the project. And we are currently figuring out what we have to change, what we can keep. And here I'm trying to also be a helping hand with the decision, and also for finishing the deadline, because there we have a very strict deadline and we want to finish this. So these are the two parts where I'm helping in this project.
Yeah. I think it's also nice to have two projects, right? That you have a little bit of a mix between like the things that you need to do.
Yeah, that's of course always important to me to have balance also with the work that I do and projects, and also with other people. And I think two is a good amount for me to take on, and both don't need my time fully, like the whole week. So we have some days where we work together, and then another week is different. So that's also nice for me. And of course, I can work for other stuff that I have as well, but just not that much as before.
Yeah. Okay, man. We can do maybe one last question, and then we're at the hour.
Let's do one more. So that's the last one. Another one that I wrote down. So that's funny. Yeah, it's also one of those that you wrote for me. It says, "How is the community synergy project going?"
Yeah. So, Christoph, how is the community synergy project going?
Yeah, so that's pretty fun, because it definitely looks like now that I just kept this for the last one just to promote this project, but I really didn't. So that was a surprise to me as well. So so what am I doing? I have this project with Paul Dragunis. He's been working with PHP and also the internals of PHP for a long time. He was also responsible for the last refresh of the website and the documentation. So he has been involved in, let's say, the internal stuff in PHP for a long time. And we both met when I had a little rant where I posted about the documentation of PHP and the things that I didn't like about it. And it was a little bit a rude way in which I did this. And he contacted me and he said, hey, I'm kind of responsible for what you are talking about. Let's talk about what are your stuff, or are you just want to do a rant and you don't want to change anything? So he challenged me, and I was like, oh, damn it. Now I have to keep up my word here, because I don't want to just provide negative feedback without any desire to change it myself if I can. So, and then we partnered up and we had some calls where we talked about stuff that I didn't like and where I think PHP documentation, the website could be improved. And on some of those things, he had the same opinion. And then we just said, okay, let's just do something together and see if we can find some ways to make stuff better. And this is when we created this synergy community, how we called it. And we did a survey. So that was one of the first tasks or first actions that we did. And it was out like for, I think, a few weeks now. Mm-hmm. And 2 days ago, we were just looking at the results. And now we are preparing the results. We want to show them to everybody, of course. And we're also thinking about our next steps. So,
can you already share something about the results, or are you just going to do that in one go?
Yeah, we want to do this together in one go, okay. And we want to.
Okay.
It's not like it's a secret, but yeah, we just want to do this together in probably one post or one video or whatever, how we do this. But yeah, it's interesting because the whole project, and we did start this with a post on Reddit and the survey, and yeah, there were of course a lot of discussions about what we want to do, and a lot of people didn't like it or felt like we were attacking them. I understand all those opinions, because there are a lot of people working for the last years or maybe 10 years on PHP and everything the PHP has to provide. And of course, it's not always fun if you see people attacking in some kind of way what you have worked on the last years, because nobody else did. They were the ones who put their free time into those stuff, and it's not easy. And I totally get that. And I don't want to attack anyone personally.
Yeah, but I think that you approach it in a very good way. You haven't said like, this is bad, you need to do it this way. No, the first step that you did was like asking people, what do you think? And there's certainly no harm in that, and it's a very good step, a good first step,
It was important to us to let's see if others have the same opinion like we do, because it makes no sense if me and him, we have the same opinion, but everybody else don't. So it's also what we see with this project. We want to start a conversation between like the community and all the people involved, and see what are their feelings, how is it going. And we both care about PHP very much. Mm-hmm. And I just want the best for it, for now and for the future, and for what's coming. And I think it's important that you have to step aside at some point and take a look. Okay, how is it? And I'm always a kind of person who is very much into details, and I always think about what's the best way this could be. Yeah. And of course, it's difficult to get to this point, but I'm not involved, or I haven't been the last year, so it's very easy for me to say all the things that I did and provide my feedback. But if you're involved for the last years, of course, it's very different. But in the end, we just want to start a conversation and see if there are common gotchas or common things where we could improve things. And there's always stuff to improve. And If there's not, of course, we don't need to do any actions or do anything. But we are also not the people who can change everything by ourselves. That's not what we want to. We just want to be in between. Maybe the peoples are in charge or people's involved and the people that are actually working with PHP, and see if we can find some ways or some discussions that could lead to a benefit. So that's all what we do right now, and we have no idea where it goes.
I also think that you and Paulie make like a good combination. He from more of the inside, so he has like the connections, and he knows a little bit about like the historical kind of things and why certain things have decided. And then you from the outside, who can give like a fresh eye on things. And give like a perspective that maybe Paulie from his viewpoint doesn't have. So you see other things, find maybe other things important. So I think that you two are a very good combination to do this. And it's a little bit sad that we can't discuss like the results, but maybe we can do that the next time when like the results are open.
Maybe we should do this again and then talk about the results or something like that. But,
there are still questions in the bowl, right? For the next time. I think there are enough questions for like a whole season of these. These conversation. Okay, but I think we've gone just over an hour now, so I think it's a good thing, a good moment to start wrapping up a bit. I enjoyed this very much, Christoph. I hope that you did too. It seems like so.
I really did as well. Yeah, it was fun talking to you. It was fun talking about those questions. Also, my wife did, and just some fire for a good conversation about life and coding and everything in between. So I really appreciate that as well.
It's a fun mix. Now, before we close off, is there anything that you'd like to say or plug or anything like that?
Actually, I don't have anything in mind right now. Just hope everybody's doing fine. Be safe, be there for each other, especially in times I don't want to into detail about. A lot of discussions we had on Twitter again, especially in the Laravel community. Just be nice to each other and be helpful, and let's keep this good community going and have fun together.
Yeah, I can't top those ending words. I fully agree with that.
I'm so sorry. Do you have anything else you want to?
Nah, that was a perfect ending, man. No.
Okay.
Maybe next time, but this ending is like the best ending.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, Christoph, see you, man.
Yeah, good seeing you too. And hope we can do this again at some point.
All right, bye-bye.